The daily routine that will get you shredded. So, my idea with this video is that people like tangible instructions to follow because tangible instructions get results. And what I did was I consolidated and looked at the clients that I've got, worked out what we were doing on a day-to-day basis, what I was advising them to do, and why I've consolidated it into this video. This was the latest transformation you can see on the screen with a soldier. Dropped 20 kg, built some solid habits. As you can imagine, most people when they come to me, they don't come with the best of habits, hence why they look like they do in the photos on the left. And it's my job to instill that those habits and that daily structure, stacking that over a period of time that then gets such good results. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tom Sergi. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation program where we get results like this. A new one coming in today, and I will do a video on exactly how we got this result later on in the week. So do look forward to that. This was an 11-week transformation. We managed to pull off 10 kg for his holiday. So if that's something that you think you'll benefit from hearing, subscribe to the channel. But also don't watch the video. If you get value, then perfect, subscribe. Or always, if I give you something, then subscribe, not before. So my promise to you in this video is that you will have a daily routine that will get you shredded by the time you leave. We're going to understand what happens when you don't have one, what happens when you do, what to do specifically, and then why things are the way they are to be like, well, why do you do this? Well, this is the reason. So you've got context behind it and then something to put your hands on. So if I deliver on that promise, then subscribe. The first thing we want to discuss is why people find it so hard to diet in the first place. Honestly, because life will fuck you in the ass. And the reason for that is it's not your fault. It's not the people's fault. It's just everyone has their own idea of what they should be doing in a certain day. Like you'll go to work thinking you're going to do something, and then your boss might be like, I need you to stay an extra 2 hours because we need to finish this project. I need to send you to the next city so you can go and speak to this business guy. I need to send you for my guys in the military on exercise this week, so you're going to have to go and do this. Oh, fuck, I didn't plan for this. Like, that's going to take me well off my diet. And then you lose momentum that way. Or you get home and your mother's cooked for you and you're like, oh, Mum, no, I'm going to be on a diet. Oh, but you can't turn down your mother's food, can you? Or like your missus wants to go out for dinner spontaneously. You're like, oh, I'm supposed to be on plan. I've only got fucking 500 calories left. And like, life is always ready to pull you from pillar to post. Life is always trying to bring you off the line of focus towards the goal that we're trying to get you to. Honestly, the ability of trying to get someone to stick to the plan over the long term, that is honestly what gets the result. Whatever you are doing in terms of a plan, honestly, if you stuck to it for long enough, you would get to the goal, but it's so much simpler said than done. The art is to keep someone focused on something for the longest of time. Now, if we don't have a routine, what will happen is you'll go long time between meals, so you'll be fucking starving and it'll be hard to stay on with. You'll end up eating off plan, which is not the goal, and that's what would have happened in the above scenario. You'll miss out steps or your output or your cardio, and that won't be achieved. And then you'll start to fall off, and your consistency to what you need to hit the non-negotiables will start to fall off. Then you'll start to reduce progress. When you reduce progress, now you're starting to lose momentum. You really need momentum week on week of progress to carry you through. It starts easier in the beginning. As you get leaner and leaner, it gets a lot harder. So you need that momentum to carry you through. But if you lose that momentum, you'll sack it in the end and nothing will have changed. You'll have been through a little bit of pain and discomfort, but won't have anything tangible to really put your hands on. So that's why this is important. That's why we need to make sure life is not going to fuck you in the ass, because we've got our routine. We know what we're going to do and why. And if something comes up, we're already prepared for it to move forward. So let's continue. When you are looking to get shredded, you need a North Star. Your North Star is the goal. That's the direction that you are heading. But it's no good just setting the goal, because as you go through life, the path will only illuminate as far as you can see it, which is honestly the 24 hours. You can't really see a few days into the future. You can slightly plan for it, but you need to know, what am I doing day to day? So it's the daily habits incongruent with the goal. It's the North Star incongruent with the small illumination of your headlights when you're driving that you can see in front of it. Now, the routine honestly starts the night before, and one of the biggest tips I can tell you is audit what you need to do tomorrow and plan it out the night before, because you know what the best version of you should do. Just like every time you set a goal for you in the future, you set a nice lofty goal that you think, I'd be fucking proud if I achieved that. Well, this can come down for the daily habits, for the illumination of the next day. Just write out everything you think you need to do tomorrow that you would want to see yourself tick off. structure it in an orderly fashion with the time of when that needs to be, and then go and blindly follow it. Now, what do we need to achieve in a given day for you to make progress? We need to achieve tracking of data, because data will drive decisions. If we don't track the data, you're not going to know if you're making progress. We need to have trained and applied progressive overload in that session. We need to have hit our output through cardio and steps, because that's going to create that negative energy balance. We need to have hit all of our meals. Don't even skip in some in a deficit. You want to hit all of them because you're on a certain amount of calories for a reason. If you're not dropping, then pull down some. But if you've been told to hit this target, you eat this much, which is rare anyway, but then you need to make a change. Well, you weren't on the right thing anyway. Obviously, overeating is then another thing, but structuring in your meals will then also allow you to manage your appetite throughout the day and also digestion. You don't want to be eating like too much, too close to the workout, and the wrong types of foods before the workout. So we want to manage your digestion. And then we also need to be ready for what general life comes up. As we just spoke about in the last slide, work will always have a different idea for you unless you work for yourself. Friends and family always want to do things. We've got social events. And then lastly, we need to be managing the sleep. The better you can sleep, it will be like swimming downstream towards the goal, because the body is more likely to drop body fat and hold into tissue when you can sleep efficiently. So these are the factors that we need to look at and what we need to make sure that we hit on a daily basis. So when we're creating our routine, we've got our North Star of the goal we're trying to get to, and it's structured around this. The routine is created around these variables. If you don't make it clear what the variables are that you need to hit, then it's very hard to piece together the routine. So do that first. So now you're going to plan tomorrow what you need to do the night before. You're going to plan it based on these metrics, and what I didn't leave out was your work. That will obviously be a big factor within that. So we're now going to look at a daily routine, which I believe will work for most of you. You won't all work the same time, train the same time, but this generally is what we have guys on. So remember, it starts at 21:55. Plan the night before, review the data from today. That's your chance to check, have I completed check in, have I got all my data in, my steps is logged, my meals are logged, my workout was logged and recorded, sleep was logged and recorded, everything is tracked so you can put your hands on it. You wake up the next day after ideally as much sleep as you could have possibly got, let's say around 8 hours. First thing you're going to do is go to the bathroom, and then you're going to weigh yourself in. Just that act of weighing yourself in daily will set you in the mind frame of, right, this is where we're at. This is where we're at in relation to yesterday, and this is where we're at in relation to last week. Okay, cool, we're making progress, we're doing the right thing. We know if we do or don't need to change anything. And it just gets you into that habit. Boom, weighed in. I put a cold shower. Honestly, a warm shower is fine, but just the thing with a cold shower is you're getting up, you're doing something a little bit uncomfortable. It just sets you up in that mindset to go and kill the day. Whereas if you just laid in bed and then didn't really shower or had a warm shower and then just minced through the morning, you're not really attacking it with that killer mindset. So I'm not all for hard, fast, aggressive cold shower. I mean, I kind of am, but I'm not going to ram it down your throat. I'm just saying I do it because of that reason. You don't have to, but that's what I do, and most of my guys do. Then you want to make sure you have the liter of water first, consume that, and then have your coffee. Now, the reason for that is you have slept all night, you've not hydrated, you need to get water back into your system. So have that first, and then have your coffee. Now, the coffee is then going to carry you through most of the morning before you have that meal one. When you're dieting, we want to shorten the window of feeding. But if we do so, we need to push that meal one back, because it's much easier not to eat in the morning and to have coffee and prolong that period than it is to break the fast. Then the window's massive and you just get hungrier quicker. So that is honestly one of the biggest tricks I would say. Push that first meal back, fast, enjoy the fast, hydrate, because that'll fill you up for a little bit. The coffee will then carry you through a bit more. You'll still be sharp cognitively, and then you have that first meal. Now you're going to go into your first block of steps, which is going to be around about 6K, and that's only 30 minutes after waking. Now from there, remember we've planned the night before, so if we look here, we see it's steps block 2, hitting the remaining target. But this could be you've knocked off all your steps within a given day at this time, because you've got an event that you need to attend to. So you made sure you got those steps in. To be honest, if you got 8K in, that'd be fine, because then you're going to accumulate a few steps anyway throughout the day. You're not going to be completely sedentary after that point. Next, we've got work. Now, I don't know what time you start from work, but let's say if you work for yourself, you start as soon as possible, attack the day, get the hardest stuff done first. or you'll have your set work time in there. Obviously, these times will need to be slightly manipulated for what's going to fit for you. But the point is, you're then going to get into some form of a work block, and you're not going to break the fast until 9:30. So you've got up at 6, you've done 3.5 hours, you've hydrated, you've caffeinated, you've done a lot of your steps, you've done a lot of your hardest work tasks. Then you have that first meal and enjoy that. You're then going to go back to work, and we want to get that second meal in. Ideally, you have 2 meals before the gym if you can. Now, if you're one of those people that likes to train at lunchtime, then what I would suggest is get that meal 1 in and get the pre-gym in meal in around about an hour before you're going to train. So it'd be meal 1, 9:30. Or you could even push that meal back a little bit earlier. You could move it a little bit earlier and then have the next meal at like 11 ready to train for 12. But in this instant, let's say you don't train till after work. That's probably quite consistent for most people, so that's why I went with that time. So you're straight back into your next work block, and then you're going to have your pre-gym at 4 o'clock, 1600, have that meal in there. So you finish work, you're now at the gym, you're going to hit your gym and your cardio. For the longest of time, you can stack the two together. The only times it may really serve you to switch that up is when you get into the back end of a diet. If you can do your cardio early in the morning, only downside is it means you're going to the gym twice. If your gym's not far away, it's not really a problem, but for some people it might be. I generally prefer to do gym and cardio, even if cardio is 60 minutes in the depths of the diet. I don't mind, I'm there, I get it done. But if you wanted to, you could move that cardio to be the first thing you do, and then you've got spare time to do the steps instead. It just moves the cardio away from the workout, which then won't affect performance too much. Then you're going to have your post-gym meal, which more than likely is going to be a shake that you're going to get in instantly, bang, straight in, and that's just going to carry you over, because at this point, you're going to be fucking ravenous. You've trained hard, and you've also done your cardio. You're going to be starving, so we want to get something quickly into the system before we're going back to have our main last meals. Then you have your last meal, meal 3, and then meal 4, which normally, like for me, for my guys, is like a yogurt and dark chocolate and berries. You can stack the two of those together; it'll just fill you up and allow you to feel a little bit fuller before you sleep. From there, you're going to go into a block of steps, or just completing whatever it is you've got left, and this will also assist in digestion. So this will also help you. And then you're into your family time before you then track what you need to do tomorrow again. Then you're into your sleep, and you take it off like this. And this will be an easy routine for you to follow Monday to Friday, pretty much, unless you've got the odd social event that comes out, then you're just going to have to be dynamic with it, in which case it's going to be you finish meal 3 and 4, but maybe it was a meal out. If you know it was a meal out, then meal 3 and 4 are going to need to be allocated those calories towards whatever meal it is that you're going to be eating. If it's if you need to eat out, stick to protein and veggies, because it's always going to be higher in calories anyway, because of they make the food to taste nice. They don't make it with your diet in mind, obviously. So that's why we do what we do. We want to make sure that you minimize appetite as much as possible. So we push the fast back as far in, and then we're eating at least every 3 hours, with the pre-gym and post-gym in and around the workout as quickly as possible. And then that way it's sweet for digestion, and also manages the appetite as best as we possibly can. We've also planned ahead. We know when we're going to be getting our steps in, so we don't get to the end of the day and think, oh fuck, like we've got so much to do, because you've broken the back end of that in the morning. You'll find, like, cognitively, you just feel a bit better when you've done and you've walked your steps, you've thought about what's going to happen the day during that day. And like, even if you didn't really plan the night before and you went out, you could do it on the move while you're walking. You know everything you need to do, so you've got that condor moment before you go and cease and attack the day. Now, the beauty of this is you do this once or twice, you're starting to stack those new habits of your new routine. And the why this is so important is, as you get into the dieting phase, it will get harder and harder, and you won't want to think and use calories towards thinking about your next meal, what time you're going to gym, what time you're going to do this, because you don't want to think about that shit when you're in a calorie deficit. You just want to you don't want to think as much as possible, to be honest. So if we've already mapped it out and then built the consistency through that routine, you're going to stick to it long term, and you're more likely to get the goal. Every day you stick this off, you affirm to yourself, I can do this. I am a man of discipline. I am a man of consistency, and you will get to the goal. The moment this skeleton moves out of your life, you're in for some problems. Even me at this point here, if I don't stick to a routine, I'll be on it for a little bit, but you'll find you'll slip. Before you know it, you're like, oh fuck, I've missed 3 meals and I should have done this, that, or the other, and this hasn't been ticked. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Like, human beings, we naturally just fall off things, like no matter how dedicated you are. So it honestly really helps to have this and then get someone to keep you accountable for it. So to find a friend, find someone that you're also on it with, make sure you've both got the routines, ask each other, are you sticking to this routine? If you want like specific coaching, obviously I do offer that, so there'll be a link in the description. You can book a call with me and we can get you results that, like we saw here in the beginning. We'll be able to get results like this for you, no problem. So yeah, that's everything in the day, and that's how I structure things for my guys and what seems to work well to get results for them. So hopefully you can take this, apply it to your own life, and make sure that you've got your own structure. If you found this video valuable, then subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow.